Alright, so Van Morrison's Moondance, 1970. Rhythm and blues, soul, a kind of beautiful combination of country and jazz at the same time. So starting off with Andy Stoned Me, kind of being this country jazz thing. So it sounds predominantly like a country tune, with a wee bit of piano in there. The bass lines very much do that. His velvety voice on top, giving it more that jazz sort of vibe about it, and then the sax, which gives it a real jazz edge about it. So the combination of the two, just welcoming you to this album with a kind of similar sound to what the band's The Wait done in 2 years earlier. So after this, you've got the title track Moondance, leaning more on the jazzier kind of side of things with a walking bass, like say his velvety smooth voice on the top of that, and then this sax playing some beautiful solo, just being more of a jazz number, which very much sticks with you as a jazz tune, but then as a celebration if you want it to be, so for a wedding or just a celebration engagement or something like that, but then it kind of sticks with you. So though it is a happier kind of tune, it can be used to celebrate a life and send them off in a beautiful way. So it's just kind of one of the tunes albums you've been welcomed to the album, but then they don't kind of leave. You've been welcomed, and it's as if they're going to stick around with you forever. So after this, you've got Crazy Love. More a softer, popular tune, which has been covered by a million artists, and influenced a million more than that. It's a tune you've probably heard wherever on the radio by whoever, doesn't matter. It may not be the original, but it's always that Crazy Love that you'll know, even if you don't think you know it, you'll go, oh, I know this. So after this, you've got a Caravan leaning more on the country kind of side of things. So you've got that really cool country kind of bass line about it, but then you've got the sax, which is emphasizing the accents of the tune. Into the Mystics does a similar kind of thing. You've got Dreams of You, My Dreams of You, something like that. With the a shuffle kind of beat on the drums, which emphasizes this country kind of thing. But then, like I say, with all these tunes, you've got the sax and his smooth voice on the top, which just gives it all that kind of jazz suave smoothness about it. You've got everyone that's got a was it a 6 to 8 timing about it, which is more on the country kind of things, and you've got Glad Tidings to end the album, which has a more rocky kind of feel about it. Now, was it Van Morrison said with this album that he wants to move away from the country and have a more rocky kind of feel about it? To be honest, I'd probably say this rocky kind of feel only really comes out in the Glad Tidings tune. The rest of the album, country everywhere, jazz everywhere, beautiful. A wee bit rocky every so often, maybe, but in Glad Tidings to end the album, you really hear that rocky kind of direction that he's wanting to go in. So with this whole album, like I say, you've got piano over just about every tune, which can choose to be a wee bit more honky tonk or a wee bit more jazz if it wants. It's in every tune. It's got something about it. His voice, which is always velvety smooth, and has this more jazz sort of sound about it. But then he is a bit of a country kind of singer, so the combination of the two is beautiful. The bass very much gives the whole thing a bit of a weight to it, like a really big fluffy coat that just kind of envelops you, so like that. The guitar, though not majorly heard all that often, when it wants to be in tunes like Caravan and Into the Mystic, can be really twinkly and really intricate if it wants to be. The drums are fun, it's interesting. He's got a kind of a sort of Max Roach kind of feel about him. Mainly hear that when he's playing quieter. And of course, on every tune, you've got the sax, which is so versatile. It can play long legato notes when it wants to, it can solo when it needs to brilliantly. And it can accents as much as it wants and emphasize the feel of the album. So overall, I guess saying is one to go a bit rockier with this. You hear it a wee bit, but it's more the country jazz kind of elements that shine through. Whatever it is, this album, let's say, welcomes you into the album, and then it wants to keep you there and just cuddle you up with those long bass notes that just give the whole thing a big weight about it, and makes you well, once you've been welcomed, makes you comfy, like you don't want to leave. Fantastic album. So overall, till next time.